is Poetry for Our Time, and this is definitely the time for some poetry. I don't know about you, but I definitely know voices are so important. Diverse voices are so important. And in a time where diverse voices are being silenced, where people and do not have the freedom to learn all histories in their classrooms in various spaces. The Schomburg continues to be this place where, a safe place, where we can hear the brilliance, the legacy, the story, the narratives of so many different people that in many places do not have that opportunity. So please give a round of applause to the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. So my name is Shanelle Gabriel. I am your host for today. I'm hosting this stage. We have so many amazing artists that will be coming to you. So please, if you have not checked out the schedule, we have Omar Holman, we have Fontabello, Anastasia Renee, we have Trace Howard DePass, and we are so excited to get all this poetry on this stage. And so we're gonna run this like it's an open mic, because it is, right? Right? Yes. It's okay. You were eating ice cream. You don't have to respond. You just have to go, that's all your role is right now. But we're gonna have a good time. And so once again, I just want to bring into this space. This is the Zora Neale Hurston stage. The author of Their Eyes Were Watching God. She was a novelist, anthropologist, playwright, poet, essayist, and had some really prolific words to say. So I wanted to bring some of her words into this space. And this is a quote in a letter to the writer County Cullen, who Harlem is very familiar with. She says, "You are right in assuming that I am indifferent to the pattern of things. I am. I have never liked stale phrases and bodiless courage. I have the nerve to walk my own way, however hard, in search for reality, rather than clink upon the rattling wagon of wistful illusions." Period. All right, that is Zora Neale Hurston's words being brought to this stage. Now I'm going to bring an amazing poet to this stage. Okay, I left over there. We're going to wait till that police siren passes by so you can hear everything. As you hear me, once again, we have seats over here to join the Poetry for Our Time stage. Omar Holman is a culture critic, performer, internet archaeologist, and known for the co-founding the popular website, one of my favorite websites, Black Nerd Problems. If there are any black nerds in the building, just make some noise. Yes! He is co-author of Black Nerd Problems, essays collection. It's an essay collection. And also, he's the author of We Were All Someone Else Yesterday poetry collection. There's nothing Omar loves more than writing essays, creating content about niche and obscure moments in pop culture across all genres. From comic books and anime to movies and television shows you should be watching, Omar has bars for them all in person and online. Please give a loving round of applause to our first poet holding this stage down. Give it up for Omar. Keep clapping till he gets here.
Thank you, Shanelle. I'm going to do some redecorating. Hold on. Yeah, things are happening. How you guys doing? Wow, that was really pathetic. How are you guys doing? At least, there you go. Yeah, fake it to me. Great. All right, I'm going to read some poems and some essays. Hopefully that'll be fun for you. If you don't like it, you can just keep that to yourself. I'm going to also try not to curse because there's a lot of children present and his mic is very loud. So this is going to be a fun journey for all of us. Oh, and it's being recorded too? Great. Yes, I am a professional. Awesome. Let's go with all the thoughts happening in my head. All right, so let's start off with something light, won't we? Here's a poem about my dead mother. Joking. Haha, that comes later. All right. They asked me to be here, and I'm very happy to be here. This is what you're getting. All right. This poem is entitled, I'll admit it, I kind of jumped the gun on that one. It starts off with a quote from Wikipedia, because I'm mad smart. In track and field, there is a rule regarding all sprint races that the athlete moves within 0.1 seconds after the gun has fired. That athlete has false started. I am 8 years old. Dad is walking me to a friend's house. I tell him, I don't need you to do this for me. Looking back, it must be hurtful to hear such a verbal confirmation that I'm more of my mother's son. Dad asks, if someone came after you, what would you do? I'd run. He then points to the park 2 blocks away. If you can beat me to that tree in the middle of the park, then you're old enough to walk by yourself. I accept the challenge. I almost tagged Patrick in tag last week, and he's the fastest kid in school. I got this. Dad said go. And no lies, you been proud of me, y'all. I was freaking gone. I'm up the first block already. Ain't even gonna look back. I know I'm good. It isn't until I get to the second block that I hear something in the distance. It sounds like thunder, but there's no clouds. I realize it's not coming from above, but from behind me. I turn around, see my father, and feel the fear of God being put in me, realizing this is the first time I've ever seen this man run before. His form was 1936 Jesse Owens Summer Olympics perfect. Mind you, at 8 years old, I have no idea who Jesse Owens is, but I somehow now know, having seen this man, Barry Allen, towards me. I don't know why, but I'm thinking I still got a chance. I can see the tree. I have to be at least halfway. As soon as I turn my head forward again, I feel the ground shake. I look to my left. Dad was already beside me. He ain't even breathing heavy. You think the worst part of this story is that my father doesn't even acknowledge me as he passes me by? But it isn't. The worst part is that all I see now is him in front of me in a hot salmon pink colored button up, blowing in the wind, beige shorts, high socks, and flip-flops. The man smoked me in flip-flops. Okay. Can't say what I want to say because children are present, but when I finally make it to the tree, he doesn't smile or say anything, just walks beside me as if nothing happened. And for the rest of the way, I'm hoping that he doesn't tell mom about this. That was not a fair race. Anyone driving by at the time, I didn't realize it until like I'm older. Someone driving by like, why is that grown man chasing that child? And why is he smoking him too? God, that kid sucks. All right. This poem is entitled The 4C Complex. It starts off with another quote because I'm so smart that I have to quote things. The hedgehog's dilemma is a metaphor about the challenges of human intimacy. It describes a situation in which a group of hedgehogs seek to move close to one another to share heat during cold weather. They must remain apart, however, as they cannot avoid hurting one another with their sharp spines. Though they all share the intention of a close reciprocal relationship, this may not occur for reasons they cannot avoid. The black girl dilemma, or sometimes the type 3A through 4C Kiki hair dilemma, is an example about the challenges of white folks touching a black woman's hair without permission. It describes a situation in which a group of Caucasians/strangers seek to satisfy their curiosity about said black girl without awareness or consideration for said black girl's feelings, existence, or well-being. Though the Caucasian will perform a dance of words to say their intentions are well-meaning, they cannot avoid the inevitable offending of the black girl. Though they mean well, making contact with the black girl's hair, however, will not occur for reasons they both cannot avoid. Now, there's no term to explain the occurrence of when a black girl and black boy explore one another's hair, but I came close to defining it in a bar in Brooklyn when I had been black boy sitting with black girl, the both of us attempting to water to wine ourselves from strangers to friends. And what better way than the decision to navigate her fingers through the soft of my forest? Notice her mouth reveal a crescent moon when she receives her fingers disappearing into my midnight. I raise my hand, then stop and ask, may I touch your hair? She replies, yes, you may. I feel there's something more to be said when a black woman gives you permission to touch her hair. No. Art. God. When a black woman gives you permission to touch her hair, it's a front row seat to so much sky. This chorus, of course, a thick quilted hymn, a crown of clouds that look like a succulent, no. A weeping willow, maybe a heart shaped to bloom in full. I don't have the words. Just a calm of trust running my fingers around the summit of her hair. For us, we're exploring each other's altars, but I imagine to onlookers, the both of us, hair thick as quills, must look like two hedgehogs, admiring each other's spines. I will now do this poem because, as you heard, I am a large nerd, and that is what. That was me stretching, but yeah, we're here for it. You came for the right moment. Are there any people that are fans of video games in the audience or walking by? Cool. Are there any fans of Mario Kart, perhaps? I will murder each and every one of you in Mario Kart. None of you can see me. None of you can see me. None of you. Not one of you. Put your hands down. Yes, exactly. So this is about Mario Kart. I hope you all enjoy it. Oh, there's also pictures in this book too. And we got a Mad Max style Mario Kart. So if you don't know, Mario Kart is not the type of game one just enjoys. Mario Kart doesn't help make you who you are. Mario Kart doesn't care about duty, honor, or saving anybody. Mercy. What the hell is mercy? Is that a protein bar? Is that a new 5-minute ab workout? Is that a useless update for your smartphone? Because it sounds like a useless update for your smartphone. The pages are so thin that I'm turning them. Let me tell you something. There is no mercy in Mario Kart. Mario Kart doesn't make you a better person. No, Mario Kart reveals who you really are. Your true self that just wants to win, that needs to win. It's that same need that in the game that makes you use corrupt morals and bring the abyss out of you. You have two choices when this occurs. You can recognize that although this game claims to be G-rated and family-friendly, you should stop playing because it's all a disguise for the abyss that consumes you with the level of intense competition that slowly brings out the ruthless parts of your soul you didn't realize existed. Or you can stare into the abyss, and when it stares back, blow kisses at it. Take a selfie with it. Invite it to brunch for bottomless mimosas because you want to get comfortable and buddy-buddy with the abyss. You want the abyss to have the spare key to your place because you're ready to take this relationship to the next level. Because in Mario Kart, it's murk or get murked. I knew this from day one, and I embraced it. I go out of my way to be a jerk to everyone on the sticks in Mario Kart. I'll let you know off the bat, I'm not your freaking friend in this game. Once that power switch goes on and National Grid starts charging us by the minute, I'm on the clock. I'm the guy throwing hands all over the track, and I don't mean throwing hands as in fighting. No, I mean throwing hands as in a group of bananas. It's called a hand. Therefore, I'm the jerk, literally laying rows of bananas across the track methodically like they're C4 explosives. That's me. I'm the savage hitting the lightning bolt right when you're in the middle of a jump over a gap. Yeah, that's me. When that blue shell creeps up on you and takes you out of first place yet again, that wasn't me. I don't get blue shells. Because I'm the guy already advancing on your spot in first place like it's your house and the Sloman shield stopped working. That's what I do. Words can't describe how good it feels to have a green shell in your hand and a racer in front of you, unguarded, unaware, just staring at the finish line in front of them. They're thinking it's all good, that they got this, that they're home free, and then they see you Tokyo drift around the corner with the Koopa Troopa chopper locked and loaded on them. They start feeling like Ricky and Boys in the Hood, and they book for that finish line, but we both know how this plays out. We both know how this is going to end. They're yelling out, no, no, not again, not this time, and I'm death-scythed tending the cemetery lawn at 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning type of quiet. Not even giving you the satisfaction of condolences with the sound of my voice as I let the chopper ring out on you, and I don't care who you are. Brother, sister, nephew, uncle, grandpa, significant other, soulmate, love of my life, dude that does my taxes at H&R Block, boss, mailman, landlord, my best friend Phil from childhood that I haven't physically seen since the death of my mother back in 2011, and we both laughed and cried in the street as we embraced one another at her funeral. Anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. Where am I at? One more? All right, cool. I will, as you can see, there are a lot more curses than that, but I toned it down for you. So, yes, this one will be about, let's talk about spades. Who here can play spades? How does it feel to be God's favorite? How does it feel? Tell me. So I will tell you this little adventure when my friends forced spades upon me. and I just need to find out what I. He doesn't know the. He doesn't know what order the books are in. The poems are in for the book. Yeah, you're right. I don't. I do not. But let's see if we can find them. Yeah. Here's my banter. Boom, 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 boom. More banter, more banter. Oh, here we go. Page 230. Oh man, good. I was trying to go off my charm. My charm was draining very quickly. All right, so this will be my last one, and then I believe we're gonna have a discussion, if I'm right, with the nerdy Shanelle Gabriel. Yeah. All right, so this is called graduating to the grown folks table. I finally learned how to play spades. When it's time for the games to come out in a black household or function, or wherever the atmosphere be so black, I guarantee you, it ain't gonna be apples to apples. It ain't gonna be Parcheesi or anything from Milton Bradley. The choices will either be Monopoly, Taboo, or Spades. This is the trifecta of games. Honorable mention for Uno in black culture. Spades sits at the top of the oligarchy, period. That is a scientific law that all black folk understand. Legends say if you're able to master all three of these elements, then the experience points on your black card unlock a hidden level. I thought I would never achieve that hidden level because I just didn't get how to play spades. I was okay with that, but apparently my friends weren't. Perhaps the black planets align because we were in Brooklyn and I had just attended Curl Fest 2018. I come out my bathroom thinking we're gonna talk. Instead, I see my friends, Tasha, Bree, and Elvis sitting at the living room table with a deck of cards dead center, giving me this intervention look. What part of the come to Jesus moment is this? I just want to reiterate that I don't mind not knowing how to play spades. That's a skill tree on the black card I was good with not unlocking. I learned Monopoly in South Africa. I don't really have an affinity for it, but I know it. Now, when it comes to Taboo, ooh, ask about me. I'd be whooping that ass at the function. I'm talking 5, 7 cards, easy. Mom looking at me with pride, like Guy Sensei watching his student Rock Lee bust Gara in the face at the tuning exams when Rock's leg weights came off, telling folk I could see he had no aptitude for spades or Monopoly, so he skipped them and focused solely on Taboo. He's a Taboo specialist that'll lose to no one. The problem with spades is usually you have to learn by watching because black folk don't want to mess up their win-loss record by partnering with the newbie. Let me be the first to tell you, the Black Nerd Problems Slack isn't a safe space for not knowing how to play spades either. My own people out here exposing me online. It's a lot of pressure, man. Fine, I'll learn, I told my friends. Just don't be out here yelling at me. Now, I'll leave the name of the person who agreed to be my training partner anonymous, so as not to ruin their win-loss record, as they were doing me a favor. We did the first round. She's like, see, you got it. My ass is still not knowing what I'm supposed to see or get. I cannot see this HTML matrix code. They're also trying to discuss the number of books I have. I think I got 4 books and a possible. I'm putting down a card to start the round. Omar, what are you doing? A hand has to be cut before you can do that. You're yelling at me. I don't want to play anymore. Me stating that I have 2 and a possible. I then proceed to win 6 books, and everyone just looks at me. Partner, there's 13 books in total. If you're off, then that throws us all off. Well, no one told me that. And we'll end there. And let's welcome Shanelle Gabriel back to the hosting position. Boom, already on it. Oh, okay. Can do. That was a lot of.
There we go. Everybody, please give a round of applause to one of my favorite black nerds. Oh my goodness, that was y'all didn't know y'all was getting a show, right? Y'all clearly weren't ready. Y'all thought it was just a reading. This is a reading with animation, okay? You feeling good? Feeling good? All right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, first things first. I mean, I have to start this with the fact that I just tried to learn how to play spades.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you were reading it. I was like, literally, that was my experience. I was like, why y'all screaming at me? I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes.
They're like, you reneged. I was like,
Don't call me that, first of all.
so I totally understand the experience and the frustration.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you know how to play? I'm like, I can kill Taboo. I can kill Uno.
Yes.
But
this is not. That's okay. That's all right.
No, but I appreciate all of the work that you shared here today. I mean, I guess we'll start. Well, because you ended there, I wanted to end there, but I know that would take forever. I promised him that I'd ask this question. What did you think of X-Men '97?
Oh man.
Any other Marvel people that watch X-Men on Hulu? I'm just making sure.
If this was a different place, I'd get up and throw my shirt off and spin it around my head like a helicopter, Petey
Ooh.
Pablo style, and say, "Yes, finally!" It was X-Men '97 did a great job of fixing and it fixed some things from the original cartoon series. I'm a huge Cyclops fan. That man fights for mutant rights like that. That dude is the one. Like, I won't say that joke. That dude is a cool cool man, and did a lot for mutants and everything. And it's dope seeing the revision of him. Like, yo, let's give him some credit, and also for Storm as well, who doesn't like. The joke is always, oh, Jean Grey passing out when she uses her powers. Storm was right, second place right there. Winds of Africa, come home. But now seeing like, oh, seeing Sentinel say, oh no, Omega level threat mutant, like, yeah, seeing like this big ups for her. So like it did a lot of things in correcting and showing just how powerful these mutants can be, and also being political as well, like of the time that they're living in, which is so much of a mirror to the time we're living in now.
Listen, classics, and that was part of the thing I think was always amazing about X-Men was like we know what this like as a people, and if you are marginalized or a part of an oppressed community or historically oppressed community, you watch X-Men, you're like, ooh, I see narratives. But I had to start that off because I promised that. I was like, just so you know, I'm going to ask you this. But I think I'll start with Black Nerd Problems because this book, I absolutely enjoyed when I bought it as soon as it came out. And he has some copies available for sale. We weren't able to get them there, but he has copies available. It is a celebration of a demographic of people that frequently don't fit in a lot of the stereotypical tropes of what blackness is.
Yes.
Right? And I'm curious, you co-authored this with another amazing, amazing writer, poet, thought leader, William Evans.
Yep.
What was the process of gathering the essays, and I really want to know, how did you divide the topics? Because I know both of you you talk about everything from just the reality of certain characters. What does it mean to not see yourself reflected in the genre you love?
Yep.
How did you divide up, like, you talk about this, but I'm talking about this?
So we did, because we had been running the site for a while at the time, and so when the book was coming, they're like, I think they want a book about this. Simon & Schuster wants a book about what? Okay. And so I was like, all right, let's do 10 of the things we've done from the website. So like reasons like Will has a poem, an essay about like how Simba's trash and he'll never be as good as Mufasa. And there's no, it's the truth is hard to hear sometimes.
Can we talk about Simba? I feel like Disney planes are gonna hover over us. And
it was trash. And so we had those. Like, all right, well also
that's the police. They're coming for us. They're
good. Take me. And so we also did like, all right, we'll do 20 between us. We'll do 20 new ones that are not on the site, right? And so I'll do my process, then Will's process. My process was locked in the room. Wife at the time being like, oh hey, come here. No, I can't talk. I can't be the weak link here. Nah, man, it ain't gonna be me. Like going back and forth, like it's a rap album, right? Like I got strong verses, because I know Will is gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard. So I want to be, and he's my favorite writer, and you're working with someone that's so great. I wish I could write like him, but like I'm funny. I do mean, So doing all that, and then we met up in D.C. and all right, I have this. What do you have? Okay, we're putting that together. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, like just these are the things I'm thinking about, and still like leaving things out by accident. Like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima was out, and I was playing that the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought about like George Floyd and the marches and everything, and I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and that was like all these things happening on the street. And so afterwards, I find out. Will's like, yeah, I wasn't writing anything, man. I had a block. I was like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, nah. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? Because I knew you would have that reaction. But after we met, that's when it all clicked for me. And that's what Will was saying. Like, and I was like, oh, meanwhile, I'm in my room like this 3 beats a day for 5 summers, like 5 beats a day for 3 summers. Like, like sweating and everything.
Different world like Cree Summers.
Yes. Love her voice acting. So that was like, I was very like, this is everything. Will was like, all right, he trusted himself, like, okay, why isn't this working? No, we need to be together and then like bounce off each other. All right, boom, now I'm ready. So those are our processes, and it was better seeing him too because I was like, okay, I can relax. I don't have to be so tense.
Because there's a knowing, like I'm looking at you, I know what you're doing. You know what I'm doing. Did you argue over any topics?
No. Okay. If anything, it was just the only, not even I can say this story now. So there's 2 things that happened. One was I did a essay about like, oh, Blade 2 had the best beatdown of all time. And I, on a website, I can make a GIF. I love GIFs. I can show you everything I'm talking about. Can't do that on a book. And Will's like, yeah, I don't know how you gotta do this, but this gotta be in the book. And I'm like, but I don't have any pictures. We didn't put any pictures. Yeah. I don't know how you gotta do this, but this gotta be in the book. So literally, I'm like, all right. So if you go to this YouTube channel and start this timestamp here, and so that we had no issues on that. The funny issue was with legal, where.
I was gonna say you're talking about a lot of different brand names and titles.
Oh
and
yeah,
you're
not
able
even
to do-
not even that. Yes, actually, yeah, it was that and like certain like celebrities and stuff. And so like Will had a line about like, oh, Shine got X amount of years for this, this thing that happened that all black people know happened, you know what I mean? And they're like, well, do you have to say it like this? He's like, all right. And then that dude that played Taken, Will had a line about him. I was like, well, can you phrase it this way? He's like, all right. And then Will's like, it'd be really funny if these are all just issues with my stuff and not you. And then the lawyer was like, actually, yeah, these are all just issues with you and not home. So I love that.
So you got it right. You were able to get these things, and just for everybody's like knowledge, they talk. When I say this book talks about everything and finds a way to kind of weave so many things, very much similar to what you heard. If you just came about, this is Omar. Am I pronouncing your last name correct? Holman?
Yeah, Holman.
Okay, just making sure. Omar Holman sharing some work from a book called Black Nerd Problems, which you can get from him. But the new one, I think you did such a great job. Both of you did a really great job in turning memes and commentary into narrative, into story, into something on paper. And now I'm going to go into your book that's actually for sale over there as well. We were all someone else yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this book, we have a little bit of a lot of personal narrative, a lot of storytelling. And I've known you from the poetry slam world, from performance poetry, from all of those spaces. So it seems like you have a pathway of transitioning from one genre or one genre to another. What was the process of going, I guess, do you think there's a difference? And what was the process of going from performance poet to page poet? Which is we know that's an argument we always have.
Yeah, I always, for me, I think the essays was a bigger transition for me because like performance poetry and page poetry, I'm like, this is the same thing. It's not me. It's not me. You just don't have my charm of doing this in front of you. So for me, that felt the same. But going to like essays and things like that, where I'm like, oh, not everything has to be like a beautiful line of me just simply saying something. But I'm like, my brain, I'm like, well, it's been X amount of years doing poetry. No, it can't work like that.
It has to be pretty.
Yeah, it has. You know what I mean? It has to be pretty, or like being some of my own voice. So it's like some things you can do in an essay that you can't do in a poem. Some things you can do in a poem that you can't do in an essay as well. And I lean more towards essays because like, oh, this is more, I can put a GIF in here. It's more visual. It's more just like, I like talking and conversation. Whereas with the poem, it's like, oh, all right, it lets you know you're doing a feature. You got 3 minutes and 10 seconds, maybe 20 to get your point across and make people care about this thing as opposed to an essay. You got 2,000 words to make people care about this thing that you love and they have no idea about.
Thank you. No, that and that we know as like slam poets or people that slam that there's a big battle in the community around like, are you a page poet or are you a slam poet? So thank you for clearing up because I agree with you. I feel like if it's trash on stage, it's gonna be trash on paper. I'm just saying.
Yes.
That was a negative. I'm sorry. If it's beautiful on stage,
is it negative if it's true? Is it negative if it's true? I think not.
We're not gonna judge poems, but no. How did you go through the process of selecting? I think this is my last question before if anyone has a question in the audience, I definitely want to give space for that. But how did you go through the process of selecting what lived in here versus what?
Ooh, that's a good question. I figured, so many poems about your mom passing away and everything like that. I'm like, oh, guess I got to collect these to put them together. And there was also that title's from an episode of Banshee entitled "We Were All Someone Else Yesterday." So I was like, oh, I am not who I was then, right? So maybe I'll take all the things from then and like the hurt and things I don't talk about or like hide behind with jokes and stuff like that. What would that look like if you just say it? And then maybe that'll be easier, to go forward from there. Because you have your good days and then there's days you're back in the hospital, you're back at the funeral, you're back at the wake, you're back at that moment where you're washing dishes and like, oh, I'm doing this alone now. So like, what would it be like to capture that moment in time? So it's like, all right, don't be afraid to capture these moments in time and have other people look at it or for yourself like a time capsule. And also, it was a roadmap for my nephew to see what his grandmother was like as well. So when he comes of age, he can read it and be like, oh, okay, this is what your life was like. Cool.
Yeah, I think that was beautiful to see so much of you, guys. I think we always think of the comedy, we think of the comical, and there's jokes in here. There's definitely still. I don't think that you could possibly write a book that had nothing funny in it. Just because that's like you said, it's all of you in there, but definitely highlighting so many emotions and feelings and things. Thank you so much for
Of
showing the
course.
full breadth of it. So at this point, I'm going to open the floor if there's any questions in the audience. Uh, any questions? I think we have time for one question. Yeah.
Oh, man. First of all, I know you, Tanaja. Why are you asking me hard questions in front of people?
Let
I'm
me
on a public stage. I didn't have a question for that. I didn't have an answer for that. See, you got me. I'm tongue tied right now.
let me repeat the question just so everybody could hear it, just to make sure everyone heard it.
And give me
So,
time to think.
and forgive me for paraphrasing. If you could, Black Nerd Problems came out a few years ago. If you could write something right now, write an essay about something going on right now, what would it be?
Cars 3 is the greatest Pixar film, and it doesn't get enough credit. Lightning McQueen blew his knee out for the love of the game, and y'all want to say Frozen's better. Frozen's not Pixar. I don't care. Give Lightning McQueen more credit. The most selfless athlete of our generation, Lightning McQueen. I always write about Lightning McQueen, and I write about Ghost of Tsushima getting me through the pandemic. Those are the two things I put in the essay book now.
This is. I feel like we're about to black nerd out really quickly, right? That was
Did
just
they have
about to
7
happen.
piston cups? All right, then.
Okay, Michael B. Jordan was in it. I officially think it's amazing. So, but with that said, we are at time. But I just want to say thank you so much
No
for
problem.
sharing your words, your stories, and your narratives. So give me a sec. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I swear I got this. Okay. But just so everybody knows, you can actually purchase a copy of this book. We're going to have some time between now and the next poet that's going to be coming to the stage, which is Fantabalo, who's very much from Harlem representing. But you can step right over to the bookstore. Either, I feel like you're available for photos. You might be able to say you met a celebrity in the world, right? This is an amazing, amazing writer whose name rings bells in a lot of different cells, including Excel spreadsheets. But if you'd like to get a copy of this book, you can get a copy of Black Nerd Problems from Omar directly. You can also get from the bookstore, and you can meet the author and have him sign. He'll be signing books right there. Once again, a round of applause for Omar Holman. Thank you so much.
No problem.